Oh, Foxy, it's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
What are we going to see?
Now this is a cool line.
Uh-oh.
James Herndon, Moana Nui podcast. First question I have to ask, what does it mean to represent Pacific Islanders and your culture on such a global stage like WWE? And how did that play part of your development of your characters, Fatu and Rikishi?
Well, it means a lot. I come from a family of faith and church and culture. Our culture has always started in our, what I like to call our wrestling ring, is the living room.
Right.
And so that really helped me personally and the family transcend into the world of entertainment and professional wrestling. All our lives in church, we do dances in church. We sing part of the choir. And so entertainment was always into our family. I just didn't know it was going to be about 15, 16 of us. And so, yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. And we love what we do. Professional wrestling has truly saved most of our lives in our family. We come from a small island of Samoa, which is only 1 hour from one side, 1 hour to the other side, probably a population of 60,000. And so a lot of us played football back in the day. When we came to the States, when my grandfather's a preacher, he started to open up churches all up and down the West Coast. So we would travel with our grandfather to go to help with these different churches and stuff like that. So we got to learn the business part of it too as well, the faith part as well, and also what it means to be Polynesian, to be able to uplift and represent for your culture. Back in the day, I think nobody really knew who Samoans was until Uncle Alpha Sika and Uncle Peter Maivia came on the scene at wrestling. Mm-hmm. And so we just try to do our best and continue to help pave the way of what they've left for the family.
Thank you.
Conventions like this didn't always include wrestling, and DragonCon was one of the first to include wrestling as part of maybe the first. What does it mean to come here and be a part of a convention like this, the fanaticism that is this kind of convention and being a part of that?
Man, it's awesome. I got a chance. First of all, this is my first time working with this amazing crew of DragonCon. And then when I found out it was in ATL, well, I used to body drop slam everybody right down the street on the center stage down here in Peachtree. And so to be able to come back to ATL when I first started my career and be a part of DragonCon for my first experience, I feel like I'm home. The people here in the South is just, people in the South is a different vibe. You know what I mean? Just so loving, so open. And then listen, I get to get my Waffle House. That's Southern cover for Rikishi. I'm like that Samoan Polynesian Southern boy. So I feel home, and I want to thank DragonCon for giving me the opportunity to be a part of such a fantastic show. Fantastic Comic-Con.
Is that the order smothered cover?
For me, it's smothered cover and the chocolate chip waffle. You gotta have that. And that sweet tea. We can't forget the sweet tea. It's on the sweet tea. All right, next.
Can you speak specifically about your induction into the DragonCon Wrestling Hall of Fame last night and your participation in the event?
Oh, man, what an honor. I had no idea. Anytime when I go to different wrestling events, I never know what's going to happen. All I know for me personally is just that vibe between me and the fans, because I miss you guys so much. But I don't miss the ring. You know? I stepped into the ring last night. I started to get goosebumps in there, like, all right, Kishi, calm down. And then when they, presented me with the DCW Hall of Fame plaque, I was very honored. It's really something to recognize what I've done for the industry and for the business and so forth. And I love coming to see the newcomers of the industry today. When I come, I'm like coming as a fan, so I got a chance to watch some of the cosplayers in there, some of the independent wrestlers. And I always think back, at one time that was me. And I guarantee you these poor kids wasn't looking at making money, because you don't get rich off of wrestling right when you first start. But it's the experience of those independent kids getting to get in front of a crowd. I think it was like 500 people there. So you can imagine a kid just getting into being able to perform in front of 500 crazy wrestling fans. It's a big deal for a professional wrestler. So I thought they ran a great show, DCW. Hopefully, I heard that it was 22 years and this might be the last one. Hopefully not, because they run I feel it's a good product added on to the Comic-Con, because it's like cosplay type of vibe. And so it's a fun place to let your stress release out. You just go to a wrestling match and just scream your head off. You'll be all right before you leave. So yeah, it was great. I was very honored, and thank you for the Hall of Fame plaque. Next.
In the WWE now, you're starting to see a lot more superstars, superhero or anime inspired uniforms when they're coming out. I'm curious, do you have a particular hero or villain you would have loved to play in a role or maybe cosplay in the ring throughout your lifetime?
Man, I would have liked been like almost like I'm a superhero guy. I'm Superman. I probably would, in my crazy mind of sports entertainment, cosplay, probably wanted to be something like a big king from the islands with blonde dreadlocks and do superpowers, but wear the kind of culture type of outfits where I was the baddest man to wear a thong. So anything on top of the thong, I think that's pretty safe for me. But yeah, it's always for me presentation to let people know who I am in a way, but at the same time, try to keep it to where they can understand the culture of who I represent. But so I will hopefully one day I'm able to get picked up in some type of Marvel movie as some type of Polynesian king, King Kishi or something like that, because I got 13 grandkids. And a lot of my time when I'm semi-retired now. So I do a lot of the picking up the kids and dropping back off to their parents. And a lot of times too, we go watch movies. And my grandkids said, Papa, we're watching the anime, and it was like, how come you never see people like me on the screen? That's all it took for me. I thought my job was done. I said, okay, this is my to-do list, because I want to plant a seed for my grandkids when I'm long and gone, that movie or that Marvel movie or whatever, that cosplay character, they too can see it and be able to dream about it, to be able to make that happen. So that's my thing with professional wrestling. It's just a lot of characters. And I like to pick characters that can be a fun character for me, but at the same time, it's a platform statement, because there has to be something behind that transcends even farther than the ring.
We got time for one last question.
Yeah, no, good.
Speaking of characters, I want to do a little bit of a throwback and a little bit of what it was like working with this person, and maybe a quick little story of working with the Undertaker.
Oh, Undertaker is a good friend of mine. First, let me start about the man. Very respectful, very respected team leader. As far as business-wise, he's the professor in professional wrestling, a guy that likes to teach the younger generation coming through the industry to be able to pass on knowledge. Straight shooter, no BS whatsoever. Funny guy. We love country music and hip-hop. It's part of the first diversity crew. 25 years ago, we were called BSK. And this crew here, you had a white guy, a Japanese guy, a Samoan guy, a black guy, a country guy, a Hawaiian dude. So we were all diverse, and everybody thought we were a gang as far as BSK. But the BSK has started with Yokozuna and Undertaker, which were very, very good friends. Yokozuna is my first cousin. And you have Godfather, you have Crush, you have Uncle Fuji, you have the two crazy hillbillies, the Godwin brothers. Yoko was there as well, and Savio Vega. So Taker was kind of like, him and Yoko was the leader of that. And these guys here came together not because we were a gang, but we were just a bunch of guys in a locker room killing time, and we just loved playing dominoes, bones, and talking shit to each other. Stress release before you go out there and perform in front of 30,000. But Taker is that guy. He's a guy that you can learn a lot from. And when you're in the ring with this guy, he's such a professional. he makes you up your game. Like if I just say I went out last night and I'm just feeling sluggish, blah, blah, blah. When it's time that we're in the ring together, he don't expect nothing else but the utmost best performance. He doesn't care if he's your friend, because now it turns into, this is the business. So he sets that bar very, very high. So I'm very proud to have him. I like to call him one of my brothers, my brother from another mother. And probably my favorite match that I'll always remember with Taker is the Hell in a Cell. Long story short, when it was time for me to take that fall from the top, from the choke slam from Taker, he's known for that. And when we seen the flatbed, we do what is called a walkthrough. So when you see the flatbed during the walkthrough, there was no aluminum railings. It was just a flat bed. But coming from 50 feet to this bed, I'm looking, okay, in my mind, if in case an accident happened, at least if I don't hit that flatbed directly, I'm able to try to break my fall, at least on the mat, on the floor, cement, whatever. So that's in my mind while the match is going, waiting for the flatbed. The flatbed comes out. Time to go home. The big fall everybody's waiting for. And this flatbed comes out and it had aluminum railings. So now I'm like, my chances has just shrunken now. If I don't hit that mark right on the spot, at 450 pounds, you're coming off the top. My body's going, if I don't hit it right, that aluminum rail is going to pierce right through this body. And while we're up top, I'm looking. Of course, Taker sees it and says, you don't have to do this, man. He's just worried about me. It's what we do, though. You know, when you have 30, 40,000 people yelling and you can hear them, the energy, it's what we do. So he grabbed me and, "You ready?" I said, tell my family I love them. Go. It was it. When I landed, I was just shaking. God took the wheel and planted me where I was supposed to be. And yeah, that fall paid off my kid's house. It's worth it. So, but yeah, to answer your question, Taker is the man. The man. Well respected.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it, we will. We will.